Hey guys, here with some bonus draft content this week. The Year of Modern Flashbacks is continuing, and now we're doing Triple Time Spiral, single elimination draft. I haven't missed one yet, but I will sadly be missing next week's as I will be out of town. All my other content will come out because I can schedule it ahead of time, but the way these flashback drafts work, I can't, you know, draft the next week's until next Wednesday, and I just won't be able to do it. There's some chance I could get it up really late, but like on Monday or Tuesday, but when the format's about to change. But I probably won't have the time to do it next week, sadly. But that's probably okay because Time Spiral block is more fun than Time Spiral Planar Chaos, I think. Yeah, so we're going to do this draft. Before the draft gets started, I do want to remind you guys I recently started a Patreon campaign. If you like my content and you want to see it get even better, as little as $1 a month can make a big difference to me. You can find the link to my Patreon in the description below. I don't know if you can see this on the recording, but Magic Online got a new upgrade and now has a green outline for one reason or another. I'm not sure how I feel about it. Yeah, I will be back with you guys when the first pack opens. All right, what do we have here? Well, we have a time-shifted Undead Warchief. Time-shifted cards are cool. They're all like its own special rarities. You can see it as purple. That's something that we have in Time Spiral. So they're a special rarity. They're reprints from old sets that are supposed to like represent how disjointed time is, I guess, in this block, which is the big theme. Okay, what do we want? That's a good question. I don't love this pack. Stuffy Dolls are rare, which isn't terrible in Limited, I wouldn't think. I mean, it's a blocker that can block anything, doesn't die, and makes your opponent wary about attacking. And it doesn't commit us anywhere. We do have Wipe Away, which is quite good. Split Second is powerful, and this is a good Split Second spell. We could take a good Sliver, like Fury Sliver, and try to make a Sliver deck, but I think Slivers are better in triple time in the block draft, that is. Herdnar is meh, and Grape Shot's fine. I think it's either Wipe Away or Stuffy Doll, and I think I'm going to take the interesting card and see how it does. I'm going to take Stuffy Doll. So here's a Sliver that's actually good if it's only really good if it's your only Sliver, because then it's a 4-mana 5/5 that does 1 to you every upkeep. We could take Ivory Giant. Basically all the cards that have Suspend are good, and this is one of the few formats where if you're in white, you probably want to be mono white because of a common like Ivory Giant and several other cards. There's a Thunder Totem. Coral Trickster's pretty good. Can tap stuff. It's a morph. Yeah, this pack is also not one I love. Barbed Shocker is kind of fun, but I think it's probably like Coral Trickster or Plague Sliver. And it's also good against opponent Slivers, incidentally. I do have to not have more Slivers to play it. We're not seeing any removal so far, which is a little disheartening. We could also take the original Nico Bolas, but that just seems like very pie in the sky. I think I'm just going to take the big Sliver here, which makes us not want other Slivers. And so our time-shifted card this time is Flying Men. Not exactly what you want. All right, as I said, most of the things with Suspend are good, and I think Corpulent Corpse falls into that. I wouldn't mind wheeling like an Urza's Factory. It's nice. Oh, there's also a Viscera Deepwalker. So the question is, I think the Deepwalker is actually better, because when it comes into play, you actually will have blue mana untapped to pump it. Fear is a thing. But we're going to take one of these, and I may take this just to stay black and not commit to another color. Oh, Stormcloud Djinn's also pretty good. But I think I like Corpulent Corpse a little more, and I think I want to take it and try to stay black. See what else we get. There's also Dralnu, incidentally, but he's pretty bad and limited unless you really end up with a sweet deck. Errant Doomsayers isn't bad. You know, it's a tap effect that's free, but it only taps some creatures. But I think we take the Corpse here. Just stay black for now. Okay, well, Assassinate is a good sign about black. I think that's what we take. It's a good removal spell. Mystical Teachings is a sweet card. You can make like a deck that has very few creatures in it and Mystical Teachings in this format and search out whatever you need whenever you want. It has Flashback. All of the cards with Flashback for the most part are good and a reason to be in a color combination. I think we go for Assassinate, though, the removal spell. Most of the totems are good. I mean, you know, they help you ramp. They sort of help you fix if you're not like primarily red. And they can also could just win you the game later. But we're just going to take Assassinate here. Another Corpulent Corpse lets us stay black. Mages of the Candelabra is a cool card, but I don't think it's what we want. Sulphurous Blast is pretty strong. Right now, it doesn't kill anything we have, and actually, our Stuffy Doll works pretty well with it, and it's just a good board sweeper. I could take another Corpse, but I probably want the Blast, I think. That's solid. Ashcoat Bear, solid, but I think Sulphurous Blast has the most upside out of anything left in this pack. Corpse is fine, of course. I wouldn't mind taking another one, but I will take the Blast here. Maybe go black-red. There is sort of a Madness sub-theme, and also a Storm sub-theme within these colors. And the cards that are really good with Storm are cards with Suspend. Okay, well, there's a late Ivory Giant. I think we either take Grapeshot or Keldon Halbardier, or Halbardier, I guess if it's French. I don't know. So a dude who wields a halberd is what he is. Okay. Opal Guardian's sweet. If we're in the mono white deck, we would definitely want it, which is a deck. I mean, like I said, if you're in white, you basically just want to be white, and this is another reason for that. But this is a solid card. I mean, it's better. All these cards with Suspend are better than they look, more or less, because late in the game they can just, come in and be sweet. I wouldn't mind taking a Grapeshot. We now have 2 cards with Suspend, so Grapeshot's getting more valuable. It does die to our Sulphurous Blast, it's worth noting, but that's okay. Yeah, I'm not sure about this green border. I've never noticed it before. Okay. Well, what do you do? 1 damage to each creature without flying. Again, works well, but not with our Halberdier. This is a great card for the mono white deck. It kind of seems like the mono white deck is open. The Buzzardiers. What's with all the things that end with IERS? It's very French. Are fine, but I don't love them. Temporal Eddy, Spellburst. I mean, Drifter Ildal might be the best card in this pack. I think we just take this thing. I don't really want Basil Sliver. Well, there's a 2-headed Sliver. Weathered Bodyguards. It's an interesting card. So our colors kind of seem to be drying up. Ication Crier is pretty good. We could end up with Madness and want to splash white for it. There's also a Mystical Teachings, which is pretty sweet. Could think about taking that. Right now we only have 1 instant, but I could sort of build around it. But I think I'm going to take the Crier. Maybe we end up with a way to use it. There's Smallpox. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. I mean, it's not the most exciting card ever, but it's fine. You can also take Trespasser Ilvec, which might be what we want to do. We are probably going to pick up at least 1 card with Madness, maybe 2. And it can become unblockable, basically, an unblockable source of 3 damage. Smallpox is okay, too, but you kind of have to make sure your deck can support it. I'll take the Trespasser. So we don't have any 2-drops yet. Okay. Another Madness Outlet that's not bad at all. I mean, definitely makes combat more of a problem for my opponent. This thing, don't really like it. I think I'd rather just have the Channeler. I think that's what we go with. You can also use it to kill stuff with 1 toughness, it's worth noting. So it makes combat difficult in a number of ways. Here, I guess we take the Lemurs. I don't think we're going to play them. There's a funny joke about them in the flavor text, though, because the original Lemur that was printed, the artist thought that the picture should be a lemur. I don't remember what the original... It might actually be this card, and this is a reprint of it, but it has a joke in the flavor text. Lemurs, is that all? Finally something harmless. So, I'll take this Totem. Well, there's also a Blade Scout. Yeah, I'm actually going to take the Blade Scout here. It makes combat interesting for my opponent. This is the best card of those that are left, I'm pretty sure. So I'll take it away from somebody. We don't have any Madness yet, but as I said, there is Madness, especially in black. There's several good Madness cards, and we do have a couple ways of Madnessing. Here we'll take Plunder. It could be good against some people. Trader's Clutch is pretty terrible. Even though it has Flashback, that's not enough to make it worth playing. That card's also bad. I mean, I like the cards we have, certainly, for the most part. I may not be playing the Shambler here, which I don't think is a very good card for the most part. Now, Tectonic Fiend is pretty sweet. It is just big and scary. Mind Stab. Yeah, I don't think so. Here's our time-shifted card's a cool one of the familiars from Invasion Block. Coal Stoker is a pretty sweet card. You know, we recently had in Khans of Tarkir that Mardu whatever that came into play, and it had, if you'd attacked, you added the 3 Mardu colors to your mana pool. And this is a card similar to that. You do have to have, 3s like we do, which we do have for it to be great. Gaze of Justice is another reason to be mono white, just to let you know, like, there are big payoffs for being mono white, and that's one of them. Pendelhaven Elder would be kind of fun to build around. But I think we're looking at either just a big, scary Tectonic Fiend or the Coal Stoker here. I don't think we want Sangrophage or Mind Stab. Like first pick. Mind Stab, I mean, is good. If you manage to suspend it on turn 1, it's quite good. But I think I like this big monster as a potential win condition. This thing is a nice suspend card, incidentally, but we'll take the Fiend here. Now, Dothy Slayer is pretty nice. Is Lotus Bloom worth something? It must be, right? Right? Nah, not as much as I thought. It's worth like a ticket. So it's surprising. Dark Withering. We definitely want that. We have a couple Madness Outlets. It's a great removal spell. I think we take that over the Slayer, which is what I was considering before. And the Bloom really isn't a bad card either. But it is worse in Limited than in Constructed. This is another really good creature with Suspend. But we're going to take this card, which we have Madness Outlets for already. Okay, Skulking Knight is not a bad card. I mean, it's a 3-mana, 3/3 who dies easily, to anything targeting it, but generally I'm not too upset about, it dying to something unless it's something that can target multiple things. Could take like Extraplanar Lens and try to splash. Have another shot at Mind Stab. Nantuko Shaman's a really good card if we were green. And Eternity Snare is better than it looks. Removal spell that draws you a card usually are pretty good. I think we just take this Skulking Knight over Mind Stab, though. Could be wrong. I may be undervaluing Mind Stab, but... Well, this is a really good card. Is our deck, we have a lot of removal, but our deck seems kind of slow. This is a good morph, incidentally. Draws you a bunch of cards if you're blue. I think we might just want Gorgon Recluse. I don't know that we're going to get to 7 mana. I mean, I guess we have a couple 6s. But Gorgon Recluse has Madness. If you can Madness it into play, it's really good, especially because you can block with it at instant speed and it just kills something, no matter what, basically. So I think we either want the Recluse or Triskellivis. I mean, Triskellivis definitely has way more upside. I mean, it's a 7-mana 4/4, which makes I thought it was Thopters, but it makes Triskellivites, and you can sack them to do 1 and all sorts of crazy stuff. It has more upside, and I think I'm going to take the Recluse, though. I could be wrong. Don't think we want Evil Eye of Urborg. It has a pretty big downside. Non-eye creatures you control can't attack. Without that line of text, it would actually be pretty good, but it has that line of text. Drudge Reavers might be what we want here. Garden Ragers is nice, but I think we're pretty much set on 6s, even though neither of these are exactly 6s. I guess it's worth noting. You can sort of put them in the middle somewhere. You can basically flash it and kill a lot of stuff. But I think maybe I just want to something lower on the curve, like these Drudge Reavers who can block for a while we kill them with Stuffy Doll. Yeah. I'll take the Reavers. Sanger Autocrat. That's pretty good. I mean, they're just bodies, right? I mean, they don't do anything super actively, but you're still paying 4 mana for, let's say, a 2/5? I mean, that's a decent rate, and it's lots of blockers, but there's another Trespasser, Ilvek, and I think I like that a little more. Thalids. You're also better in Time Spiral block. This is a pretty good one, though, even isolated, because it gets, it has removal ability once you put Saplings in play, but I think we probably take the Trespasser Ilvek here. Free discard outlet for our few cards with Madness. Well, I wish there wasn't another one here. I guess that's what I'm going to take. We could take Joyra's Time Bug and remove counters, but I think we'll take this. So we definitely need some twos. Like our mana base, our curve does not look amazing. I mean, it is worth noting on turn 1 we can be, suspending a Corpulent Corpse. But that's the only suspend card we have so far, I think. Yeah. We do have some, this on turn 5 is not the easiest thing to deal with. On turn 4, rather. We have some nice stuff. I think we probably leave Sulphurous Blast in, even though it kills a lot of creatures down on this side of our curve. You can play around. You can play it in a way that it's better. I think we probably want this, though. Well, I don't mind Feebleness. It kills a lot of things. I think I'd take it over Mana Skimmer, who's kind of meh. I could play a 2-mana 2/2 that's hard to cast. But I think I'm going to take this Feebleness instead. It's also Aether Flame Wall, I guess. I don't remember what this does. Yeah, I don't think we want it. It's not one of the Storm cards we really want. Not like Grape Shot. Oh, we have that too. We can do in turn 1. So here I think I take Mind Stab over the Bogarden Rager. Still a Gaze of Justice, so I think the white deck is pretty open. We probably could have had a pretty sweet one. Because that card's pretty ridiculous in a mono white deck. Unplayable in anything else, but... So... I don't know that I want 3 Trespasser Ilvex. Probably not. I mean, casting Dark Withering for 1 black, though, is pretty nice. Here, I think I'm going to take the Buzzard Ears. I probably don't play it, but it's what I'll take. But yeah, just imagine, if a creature has flying, we're kind of in trouble, but just imagining, like, any board state with this, if he blocks my opponent's 5/5, they have to take 5. So, things like that are pretty sweet. Okay, Mind Stab number 2 or Barbed Shocker. I think I'll take the Shocker here over a second Mind Stab or a Ground Rift. Although, Ground Rift might be a decent sideboard option. Yeah, let's take it. Why not? Yep, Mana Skimmer it is. It looks like it would be good. Like a 4-mana 2/2 flyer is only slightly more. It's 1 more mana than you want to pay, and then it can tap things down. I guess if I'm playing like a 5-color deck, I might want to bring in Mana Skimmer to tap down like whatever color they need. All right. Well, I'll take another one of these. I don't know if I want to play 2, but I think I'd rather play a Trespasser Ilvec before one of these. Although it is, as I mentioned, it's worth noting it can. If I'm against an opponent with lots of X1s, then this gets a lot better because it's definitely better as removal than it is as anything else. We definitely have some nice finishers though. Our Tectonic Fiend and our Plague Sliver are pretty sweet. Flickering Spirit, not exciting, but it's very difficult to kill. Like if you just keep leaving mana up, your opponent is in a bad place. I think Angel's Grace is worth something. Do we take an Angel's Grace? No, it's also not. It's worth more than nothing, but it's not. It's worth more than a cent, but not a whole lot more. Okay, so we have another corpse. This thing, which we don't really want to see, it's a very good sideboard card against us. Another one of these, which I think is better than the corpse. We took the corpse to try to stay black, and I think that was probably fine. Black has proved, I think, to be fairly open. I think we take the corpse here. Are you a zombie Plague Sliver? No. Zombie Sliver. I don't know if that exists. I was just wondering if I should have taken that Undead War Chief when I had the chance. This is another good suspend card. They're basically all good. You don't really want to be paying the 6, but you get such a good deal for your mana investment in the long run that they're all very good. So I think we take the corpse. So now we have 4 things we can do in turn 1 at least, even though we don't have an actual 1-drop. These are all 1-mana things. And Mind Stab, if you play that on turn 1, your opponent is put in a weird place where they have to... Do I want a second Plague Sliver? No, I probably want Strangling Soot. If we could build a reanimator deck, I guess maybe. Not really though. We don't have a sweet reanimation target. We probably want the Soot. I mean, it's a double removal spell. I am tempted by this Sliver, but it may actually come back to me. And again, good cards here for the mono white deck. Somebody's building a sweet one. Grape Shot's tempting, but I think Strangling Soot is better. Even with like 4 things with, what's it called? Suspend. Dragon Whelp is not bad. That is our card here. There's another Feebleness, which I don't love. Flamecore Elemental, though, is another nice beater. I mean, Dragon Whelp... I mean, we either want the Dragon Whelp or the Flamecore Elemental. It's a hard choice. It is a hard choice. For me. It may be easier than it looks. How many creatures with, like, evasion do we have? We have a couple creatures with fear. We don't really have any flying. So I'm thinking about valuing the Dragon Whelp a little more than the Flamecore. I mean, it's important to remember you have to pay the Echo on the Flamecore. It dies. It's not just a 4-mana 5/4 with no downside. Dragon Whelp's a 4-mana 2/3 flying with nothing but upside, really. So I think I'm going to take it. Gets us our time-shifted card. Mindless Automaton. Ooh, there we go. Well, we got some sweet removal. We could definitely sort of turn this into a control deck, because Sudden Death is super good. -4/-4 that can't be responded to. Here's, I guess, a reason to be mono green is the Unyaro Bees. Mindless Automaton is an interesting card for Magic's Past, but we want Sudden Death for sure here. Our curve is so ugly, though. Like, so ugly. If I could just pick up some, like, passable 2s, I would be pretty happy. I mean, there don't seem to be a huge number of 2s in this format. Like, the one that I really remember seeing is that red-black Sliver. So, yeah, we got Assassinate, Strangling Soot, Sudden Death, and Dark Withering. Those are all, like, key cards you want if you're in this deck, because the removal is just incredible in these colors, and we got our hands on some good removal. And Sulphurous Blast is good, too. It doesn't kill all of our creatures, but it does kill a lot of them. So if we have it in our hand, we have to think about how we're playing a lot. Void. That is an interesting card. It is in both of our colors. We could take a Vampiric Sliver over it, but I think we just take Void. I mean, Psychotic Episode is all right. It does have Madness, which is nice, but it's not as good as our other stuff with Madness. Not even close. I think I'm going to take Void. I just feel like it has more upside. I mean, it's usually just going to be like a 1-for-1 in a format like this, but that's not terrible. I think we take another Skulking Knight over the Blade Scout. Yeah, now we're just picking up sort of cards we don't really need. I'll take the Totem. I don't think we want to play it. I'll put it here for now, though. They are fine, though. I mean, this one is a big, scary monster in the later part of the game. I'm not sure how good Void can be in Limited. I mean, the pack didn't have much else, and I can see this having upside. Blowing up my opponent's hand, a card or 2 in their hand, and a card or 2 on the table seems good. We don't have any 1s. Naming 1 will be funny. I'm thinking about just sideboarding Mind Stab here. That's what I'm thinking. That is one of the few ways of killing our Stuffy Doll in this format. Sudden Death will do it too. And I guess Feebleness will too. I guess there's several ways. Makes it a little bit... Ooh, hello. Yeah, more sweet removal. I think we take it over the Totem, which is nice. It's a nice Totem. Maybe one of the better ones, but I think we just want more removal. If we want to win with Stuffy Doll, we probably want removal anyway, right? So Sangrophage, Scout. The Scout's probably the best of the 3 cards in our colors there. Sangrophage just, it just eats you alive, and I guess that's the flavor they're looking for there, and we don't really want that. We may be able to just cut Feebleness because our removal's so good. I may actually play this wall since we don't have any 2-drops. And I may actually play Ghost Flame Sliver because we don't have any 2-drops. It does, have the downside of not pairing well with Plague Sliver, but that's not a huge downside. Could take another Feebleness, but like I said, with the other removal we have, I'm not sure we're playing it. I think it might be more likely we play a 2-drop. Here's another 2-drop, but I don't think we want that one. Yeah, another Aether Flame Wall. I might just play 2 of those and sort of convert this into... I mean, it's sort of an aggressive deck, but we definitely, our top of our curve is the most impressive. And playing these walls early... And by the way, this wall can actually do damage to things if we have red mana around. And we have sweet removal. So I think we sort of convert this deck into more of a control deck, if we can. Probably only want 1 Channeler, maybe. I don't think we want Drudge Reavers. Sort of just trying to trim the deck ahead of time. I think we want the Trespassers. I mean, Skulking Knight is definitely not as good if we're a control deck. Yeah, we probably don't want you. Question is whether I'd rather have a 3rd Trespasser or a 3rd Flowstone Channeler in my deck. That is an important question. Whether or not that's any good. I think we can stick all of these cards over here. Mind Stab may be worth moving to the sideboard. It's amazing if you can do it on turn 1. A lot of times in the later game, it's not going to do a whole lot. Thinking about the optimal situation is kind of dangerous there. Let's group creatures separately here. I mean, we definitely have nice late game. Like Dragon Whelp, Stuffy Doll, and Tectonic Fiend can all win us games. Corpulent Corpses and Halberdiers can as well. It does only have 1 toughness, which is relevant. That's for sure. And we definitely want these 3 removal spells. They're all good. We definitely want that. Sulphurous Blast and Void are sort of... Oh, and Mind Stab. Those are all cards I could think about cutting. But I think if we're more a controlling deck, we probably want the Blast. It does, however, kill these 4 creatures. It doesn't kill anything else in our deck, though. It kills our Halberdier, too. But it kills these 4 creatures. Which is probably still, like, my opponents are usually going to have... I mean, if I play it in my main phase, it'll kill more of my stuff. It's worth noting. Like our corpses and stuff. But I think we want Madness Outlets. I mean, we have... Dark Withering, and we have Gorgon Recluse, both of which I think are cards we want to play. But I guess having 3 Madness Outlets is probably plenty, and I think we cut one of the Channelers. Again, if I see an opponent with a lot of X1s or a Stuffy Doll or something, then I definitely want to be siding that in and maybe taking out a Trespasser. But I think this is more or less our deck. I'm a little worried about Void. But I can definitely see situations where it just kills one of my opponent's creatures and I feel okay about it. I can also see situations where, like, I have a lot of creatures in play that cost 3 and so does my opponent, and it really hurts me. I don't know. It's hard to evaluate. I don't remember playing it back when I was playing this format back in the day. I don't think I only drafted this a couple times. But we also have Mind Stab, which I'm not sure about. These, I think, stay in for sure. If I cut both of those, and I may want to, what does that give? What can I bring back in? Our Totem, which is nice because it can help us ramp up to 5, 6, and 5 and 6. And it turns into a threat later in the game. I mean, it does sort of suck to take a turn off to play it, but it does turn into a very real threat in the later part of the game. So I think I might want to bring the Totem in, and maybe Ghost Flame Sliver, just so we have a little bit of earlier game. Another Madness Outlet's not a bad idea to think about either. Yeah, do we want that? I mean, it isn't going to be super easy to cast all the time, is sort of the problem. And these are okay, but they're definitely better if we were more aggressive than we are. I mean, we do have a creature with 3 power and 1 toughness, which makes it a little better. But we can't give Skulking Knight, any sort of ability from that, so Yeah, that might be what we want to do. Just play another 2-drop so he's going to do early. We could just also throw in Feebleness, though, and that may be just what we want to do. Just have more removal. More ways for us to get to the later game. Yeah, I think that is what I'll do. Right. Okay, I mean, we have nice removal. We have some nice early creatures who can get in for damage, and we have some that represent inevitability to a degree, which I like. So I think this is what I go with. I can definitely see playing Mind Stab or Void. Those are the two cuts I'm like the least sure about. If you've drafted this format a lot, you can tell me in the comments whether you think I should be playing those things. Mind Stab's definitely something I will want to side in against like a slower control deck. So that's worth keeping in mind. All right. Yeah, and I like the totem. We have enough high curve stuff that I like it. 10 and 7's probably right. We have a couple, well, we have 3 double reds actually, but we also have several double blacks. And we have the totem too, so I think we're all right on mana, and I think this will be our deck. So thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the first match, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.